When it comes to making a post on a Facebook page like we now have here, it's important that you always use images, a video or a picture. That's what's going to stop people in their tracks long enough to let them read what you've written. They will not be stopped in their tracks with a load of text. The first thing that you're going to do when you come to posting something to your page is to make sure initially that you are posting as your page and not as yourself or as any other page that you might be managing. When making a post, I always like to make sure that I've got the picture or the video in there first, because very often, like in emails, you can waffle on and say, oh, I've attached a picture, and then you send it without actually attaching it. So rather than obeying this little instruction here to write something, I'm going to go underneath. And I'm going to do upload because I'm taking it straight from my computer. And I've put it on the desktop. I've fashioned a little image here to welcome people to the page. And what I'm going to do is to briefly explain what the page is for. I'm just going to paste in here what I've previously written. I've got an option here to tag products in this photo. I'm not going to. I don't have any products that I need to tag. Something that you can do before posting this is to hover over the picture, the little thumbnail there as it's called. It's called a thumbnail because it's just like a mini version that allows you to see what you've uploaded. If you hover, you will get the option to edit photo. A quick click on that opens up the photo editor. This is really great if you're not very comfortable with editing photos on your phone or your laptop. It gives you a few very basic options here. First of all, we're in the filters section. This is the original, and as I click through, you can see that it's changing the look of the photo. It's a very BBC broadcast from the 50s sort of look there. I'm going to go for original. The other one that you will find very useful is crop. So suppose you'd uploaded a photo, but there was part of the photo that you would not like to appear on your post. Perhaps there's some background that you don't want included. Then grab what's called the handle. There are 4 handles on this, and you can see that the cursor changes. I'm looking at the bottom left of the picture here. It changes to a double-ended arrow. If you click and hold it down, you can drag this around and you can see that the selected area changes as you go. If I'm not happy with what I did, I can move it back manually, or I can go up to original and it clicks back to how I started, and then you can have another go. A useful one if you're trying to do a profile picture is to use the square option. This then makes sure that it is always a perfect square and you don't have to concentrate on how far sideways or upways, downways you're going. It will always be a square. I'm going to click to go back to original. Another really useful feature is this rotate. Perhaps you took the photo sideways and you don't know how to turn it around on your device. This one allows you the option to do that. The slider down at the bottom here allows us to zoom in. Again, it will allow you to focus on something that perhaps wasn't the focus of the original photo itself. One option that could be quite interesting is this option here to do text. I've added text in Photoshop, so I don't use these online editors for that purpose, but if you needed to add text, you can do so using this method. The option below, stickers, they're quite fun if you're doing a personal post, but I would say stay away from the stickers for anything that is business or organisation related, unless it's really appropriate to what you're posting. I'm going to just leave this as it was by doing cancel. So I have my text, I have the little thumbnail to show that I've uploaded a photo. Now, before you hit publish, now publish is the equivalent to post if you're used to a normal Facebook profile, but before you hit that, I want to visit this one next door, the downwards pointing triangle, because when you hit publish, that will publish or post it right now, that might not be the most appropriate time. If you're arranging this post at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's not the best time to put it out there because most people are asleep. So what you can do is come here and schedule it. So it's got my current time here and the date. What I could do is change the date. Perhaps I want this to go out tomorrow. I can do it for tomorrow. I can even change the time. But what I'm going to do now is I would like to do it today. Now is about a good time. There might be some people off having their lunch from work and browsing Facebook, just so that you can see what happens once you've scheduled something. I'm going to schedule it to go live in 2 minutes. I'll hit schedule. And of course you won't see it appear on the page, but what you will be able to do as an admin is to go up to Publishing Tools and Scheduled Posts. And this here shows me what is scheduled. I've now got the chance to edit if there's something that I would like to change. I can remove it, reschedule it, backdate it to another day, or delete it altogether. A little time has gone by now and I can show you the notification that I received on my mobile to let me know that the post had been put up onto the page. Looking back at the computer, we can see on the post itself that it was published by me. Now, it's only admins that will see that. This is not visible to members of the public or people who've liked the page. If you look down here, you can see how many people it has reached so far. If at this point you discover that you have made a mistake in your comment or there's some other thing that you want to change, add, take away, this little arrow up here, give it a click and you will be able to edit your post. Please bear in mind here that any edits you do make will be visible immediately as soon as you've hit update, but also your previous comments will still be visible if people want to see them. So what this does is it stops people putting something up and then changing it drastically, perhaps doing a U-turn on what they've said. The history of what has been said is visible. Something that I'm going to choose to do with this particular post is to pin to top of page. So that means when people are scrolling this, no matter what other posts are made after this, this one is always going to appear at the top. It gets pinned in as if you're pinning something to a notice board.